Hello, my wonderful people, viewers and subscribers. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Saturday and happy weekend. It shall be well with all of us. Before I went on to read this article, you see, as you can see, it is 4-page. 1, 2, 3, 4. They call it Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's release. Igbo human rights groups in US. They don't carry the matter, go drop for Trump table. Say, come and intervene on the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu before we take laws into our hands, because that is what this petition is all about. It's either US intervene now to save the situation when it's still at hand than when it escalated. This is not a threat. This is a message from the Igbo human rights in US, activists, lawyers, all of them, including AVD, American veteran of Igbo descent. All of them don't join hands together, carry this matter. As I'm talking to you now, it's there for Trump table. But the question there now is, will Trump ever intervene, knowing fully well that the bilateral business agreement they have with Nigeria government is what is stopping them to intervene in the case of Biafra versus Nigerian government? So now it is left for them now to decide whether to intervene now that it is too early, or to wait until when it got escalated. That is when they will intervene. So now it is left for Trump and his congressmen and women, Senate House or what, House of Assembly, whatever they call it over there, to do what? To do the needful. Let me read the article so that he will not get exhausted and also get angry with my own assertions. So when we come back, then we are going to analyze this message one after the other. So please, as you are watching, share this video, let it go viral. Like, share, comment. Make sure you subscribe for more interesting videos. Law Office of Bruce Fein, 300 New Jersey, Kiniko. That is the address of Bruce Fein. This message is dated August 29, which is yesterday. President Donald Trump, the White House, AB 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, New Jersey. Okay. NW, Washington, D.C., 2500. Reply. American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVD, Rising Sun Charities Organization, make sure they listen to the names of people who bring hands together and said, we must put an end to this rubbish. Since our so-called political leaders in the Southeast don't want to do anything, now we want to take this upon ourselves to make sure that justice is being served. So let us continue. He said, American Veterans of Igbo Descent, which is AVD, Rising Sun Charities Organization, and Ambassador for Self-Determination, submission against Nigerian jurist and the former Attorney General for sanctions under the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act 22 USC 10102 and 8013818. Dear Mr. President, I represent American Veterans of Igbo Descent, Rising Sun Charities Organization, and Ambassadors for Self-Determination. All three are non-profit organizations substantially dedicated to monitoring gross violations of internationally recognized human rights, especially in Nigeria. Pursuant to the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, the three non-profit organizations urge Magnitsky sanctions against a quantity Nigerian judges implicated in the prosecution of Biafran leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for exercising his fundamental right to free speech and association and a fair trial. Injustice Binta Mutala Iyako, Injustice Haruna Simon Samani, Injustice Hama Akawa Baraka, and Injustice Mohammed Lawa Garoba, and the former Chief of Justice of Nigeria Olukoyode Ariwola. They also seek Magnitsky sanctions against former Attorney General of the Federation Abubakar Malami. The violations including ongoing arbitrary detention as determined by the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, denial of the right to fair trial, rights, and judicial endorsement of Mr. Kanu's kidnapping, torture, and extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria. I hope you are listening. If you have your pen and paper, right now, because these people are going to face legal sanctions, country sanctions, even state sanctions. They are going to stay what they call house arrest if they did not take their time and reverse all they have done on the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Judges enjoy no immunity for gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. Nazi judges were prosecuted by the United States for presiding over sham trials where the outcome had been predetermined by Nazi authorities. See Judges Trial, United States versus Joseph Alosta et al. Russian judge Olisaya was sanctioned by the United States on December 31 of 2024 for participating in the arbitrary detention of Moscow City Councilor and human rights defender Alexei Gonyov for voicing opposition to Russia's war in Ukraine. Moving to the second paragraph. Protracted prosecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Please listen and listen attentively. Ogadoro. Nigeria's protracted prosecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for peaceful advocacy of a self-determination referendum in Biafra commenced as early as 2015. In September 2017, Nigeria's military attempted to assassinate Mr. Kanu in his home. Many were murdered, but he managed to escape by a miracle concurrently. Indigenous people of Biafra was banned as an alleged terrorist organization in an illegal ex parte proceeding that provoked the protest of 5 United Nations Special Reporters on Human Rights in October 1 of 2020, letter to Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari. In June of 2021, Mr. Kanu was kidnapped and tortured by Nigerian authorities in Nairobi, Kenya, followed by extraordinary rendition to Abuja, Nigeria. He has been detained in solitary confinement without trial and without proper access to lawyers ever since then. The United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention found on July 20 of 2022 that Mr. Kanu's detention violated 16 international human rights covenants. It ordered his immediate and unconditional release and reparations. Nigeria have floated the working group decisions for more than 3 good years, and yet United Nations have done nothing. In October 26 of 2022, the Federal High Court, whom had declared Mr. Kanu's extraordinary rendition unlawful and unconstitutional, it awarded him 500 million naira in damages. On December 15 of 2023, the Supreme Court of Nigeria, while acknowledging the Nigerian government's extraordinary rendition of Mr. Kanu was criminal, nevertheless decreed that the fruits of his crime, his detention and persecution, was legal. You can imagine that. Trying somebody on illegality. On January 30 of 2025, the Court of Appeal, Abuja, affirmed the flagrantly illegal 2017 ex parte prosecution of IPOB as a terrorist organization. No other country in the world has followed suit, including the United States of America. On June 24 of 2025, the High Court of Kenya, Nairobi, held that Mr. Kanu's extraordinary rendition unconstitutional and illegal. It awarded him 10 million Kenyan shillings in damages against Kenyan authorities for conspiring with Nigerian authorities to perpetrate the crime. Nigerian justice and the former Attorney General of the Federation deserving global magnitude sanctions for violating Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's international rights, internationally recognized human rights in defense of free speech and association and fair trial to peacefully promote the Biafran right to self-determination enshrined in international laws. Number 1, Dishonorable Injustice Binta Murtala Iyaku position George, Federal High Court Abuja, violations, arbitrary detention, denial of rights to counsel and access to necessary medical care, endorsement of ex parte prohibition of IPOB without due process. Number 2, dishonorable Injustice Haruna Simon Samani, paragraph 3. Position, then Presiding Justice Court of Appeal Abuja, now Justice of the Supreme Court. Violation at arbitrary detention. Number 3, dishonorable Injustice Haman Akawu Baraka. Position, Presiding Judge Court of Appeal Abuja panel. Violation, affirming arbitrary ex parte prescription of IPOB. Number 4, dishonorable Injustice Mohammed Lawa Garoba. Position, Justice Supreme Court of Nigeria. Violation, affirming arbitrary detention to enable Nigerian government to profit from its own crimes against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Number 5, former Chief of Justice of Nigeria and Chairman of the National Judicial Council, Olukayode Ariwola. Violation, endorsed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kidnapping, torture, extraordinary rendition, and arbitrary detention without trial. Number 6, former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. Violation orchestrated. Okay, his violation orchestrated Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's kidnapping, torture, extraordinary rendition, and arbitrary detention without trial. This message is respectfully submitted to the office of the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. We await his response regarding these our petitions against all these morons in government offices. The person who submitted the lawyer in question is Bruce Finn. The law office of Bruce Finn is number 300 New Jersey Avenue, NW, that is New Jersey, Suite 300, Washington, D.C., 2001. Phone number, Keneko, International Council for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, American Veterans of Igbo Descent, Rising Sun Charities Organization, and Ambassadors for Self-Determination. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu profile. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a profile in leadership and courage in defense of the internationally recognized rights of Biafrans. Millions perished during the 1967 to 1970 genocidal war against Nigeria, featuring the starvation of infants by the Nigerian government, but the subjugation of Biafrans never ceased. For over a decade, Mr. Kanu has championed the Biafran right to self-determination through a popular referendum enshrined in the American Declaration of Independence and in President Woodrow Wilson's 14 points. He has uniformly preached peaceful means. He has served a dastardly assassination attempt by Nigerian government and their military. He established indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, as a political arm to advocate for self-determination. For more than 4 years, Mr. Kanu has been detained without trial in solitary confinement in a Nigerian dungeon without access to necessary medical care or legal representation. In 2022, the United Nations working on arbitrary detention condemned Mr. Kanu's indefinite imprisonment without trial as in violation of 16 international human rights covenants. It ordered his immediate and unconditional release and reparations. The Nigerian government has ignored the working group's order for more than 3 years now and still counting. So this message is what we brought to us this very day, Saturday morning, according to my own time. Maybe you are still sleeping or you have entered Sunday. I cannot tell because time difference also matters. So my good people, what do you think concerning this matter? If they allow you to judge this matter, what is going to be your own judgment over the ill treatment that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is getting from an entity called Nigeria, which I'm not even sure they are a nation, because it is just a geographical expression according to Awolowo and Shagari. So what are we doing together? And according to Ango Abdullahi of ACF, which is a Arewa Consultative Forum, let me borrow his word. He said that Nigeria have expired since 2014. The 100 years amalgamation of Nigeria as a country or as an entity or as an organization have expired. And what happens? You cannot force somebody into getting, into a marriage that they are not in support of or they are not happy about. The marriage between the Igbos, the Biafrans, and the rest of the Nigerians is not working, and is not going to work. Divide Nigeria to save lives. That is a quote of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of 28th August 2020. Divide Nigeria to do what? To save life. If you keep Nigeria together, people will keep on dying. Tell me the number of people that die on a daily basis. If it be reported, my brother, the whole world will shut down. In every news and crannies of Nigeria, the number of people that die on daily basis, if it's being reported on social media, all these mainstream media houses, if it be reported, my brother, the whole world is going to turn their attention on Nigeria. In fact, they will begin to buy all the whole leaders in that Asorok or other states. But because that is why you see they try to gag people into telling you that that the government have to regulate social media, because they don't want the outside world to know what is really happening in that country. People are dying even more than even more than the people that are fighting war. What is done in Nigeria on daily basis is more than what is done in Ukraine, Iran, Palestine, Gaza joined together. But they will not report it. You see the reason why they don't want to conduct the census. The world are seeing Nigeria as a 250 million people. My brother, they have killed 50 million on top. 50 million people have died since the inception of APC and other government, other terrorist government of PDP. In fact, let's take it since 1999 to today. When last did they conduct census in Nigeria? Because they don't want the outside world to know. Because if they conduct census now, and then the number that the World Bank and IMF are projecting Nigeria is not what they see, they will ask them questions. What happened to the population? Who killed them? Where are they? That's why they are afraid. Anyway, let us just check the comment section, Pico. Mission Man said, after sponsoring terrorists here, who is this? And according to Oracle said, I don't understand what Trump go do. Nigeria is a sovereign country and won't take instructions from another nation. Are you okay? A sovereign nation indeed. Israel say, waiting they do to Iran, Mugu. Oracle say, who Iran hold hostage? I beg. Because now full your head as you do so. Is Nigeria at war with anyone? Yes, Nigeria is at war with the Biafrans. Lona said, sovereign that can't feed itself. Your drug president is going to everywhere in the world begging for money. Beggars without shame. Say, you never answer my question. Mugu, why is him interfering in Israel and Iran after Israel and Iran affair and Russia as well? Odili said, from your question, it shows that you don't read. That's why you can't understand. It is a sovereign nation, so they should misbehave. The petition did not even talk about the president of Nigeria, who we can say represent the contraption. US remains world power, so is POTUS order, according to him. A Voice of Africa said, my dear, go to school so you will know how international laws works on countries that are signatory to it. Okay, moving forward. Mike said, what petition? Nnamdi Kanu should be apologizing for the evil he caused the region. America don't support terrorists. And yet, America does not label this Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB a terrorist. Paul Pascal said, which petition? People were busy lying false accusations against IPOB. You claim to represent previous yesterday. No action, no word from you. Who are you really working for? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave you order to sue any person accusing IPOB of any illegality. Yet, you blinded yourself last Tuesday. Anyway, let's call it a day. If you get this message, Please kindly make it, let it go viral. The file of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Nigerian government is right before Oga Donald J. Trump. What he's going to do with it is what I'm still contemplating. But let's wait and see. Our arms are crossed. And let's wait for the man to do something before the situation gets out of hand. Have a nice day. Kemesiano.